Incoming third match from the best out of 5 series I've been shoutcasting on the last couple of days. Taken from the team event Europe vs America that was promoted by SteelSeries and StarcraftSource.com. We're gonna have another face-off for the third time between here the Blue Zerg LiquidRet, Dutch Zerg player, old Brood War veteran and pro gamer, member of Team Liquid, staying in Korea, trying his luck on the GSL. Hopefully we're gonna hear more of him soon enough. And he's gonna be facing here against the Red Terran SeleCT, Korean by birth, living in the US and playing on the North American ladder. He's a frequent flyer, so to speak, from the tournament scene. He's been around for quite a while, member of Team Dignitas, and quite a stable and powerful Terran player on the North American servers. So I'm gonna throw a couple of spoilers here, so, well, if you guys didn't watch the first couple of matches, I can only say that you should. And you can always mute me if you feel like it and you don't like to watch the last couple of matches. But basically, Red is leading 2-0, so SeleCT has to do something about it on this match, or, well, it's over. I mean, it being a best out of 5, this is the third match. If it goes 3-0, there's no turning back for SeleCT. So SeleCT needs to just take control of this match, dominate over Red, and just own him completely and get this result to 2-1, and actually still withstand the chance of winning the final of the series, winning the best out of 5. Okay, so following a bit of the match, getting the production and the HP bars running, as you can see, early hatch, fast hatch for Red. Might be a bit risky, especially because, as you guys can see here, SeleCT is going once again for the 2-racks play. It implies a lot of pressure. He might be committing several Marines to just make a small but powerful push early on the game. Keep in mind that we're in Xel'Naga Cavern, so the rush distance, well, takes a while to get there. It's not the shortest ever, and this might allow Red to just muster up his forces while the Marines keep advancing north and try to poke at his base. I'm still not 100% sure that SeleCT is actually going to send all of his Marines, but apparently that's supposed to happen since he's going for 2-racks play. I was assuming some kind of early pressure. For now, he's just going after that drone and trying to get it killed and off of his base, and finally achieved it. Meanwhile, the SCV has been roaming around, checking the hatchery on the natural expo from Red, probably considering his options, see if it would be worth it to just advance with some Marines and apply the pressure, but I guess that's not going to be the case. And meanwhile, Red did his spawning pool, already finished, so he's going to be able to get some Zerglings out and thwart any kind of early pressure that SeleCT might try to apply on him. Going for the Roach Warren after, while here on SeleCT side, apparently is not concerned at all with any kind of early push. He's actually committed to his macro play and his econ game, so he's getting a fairly fast command center on the Natural Expo as well, and he's going to be playing out of 2 bases just like his opponent. 4 Marines there probably will be more than enough now for the early stages of the game. There's some Zerglings trying to shoo away that SCV from the control that he had over the Xel'Naga Watchtower, but now the SCV backed up by his Marine bros, just showing back again and saying, now we're gonna do something about it? Xel'Naga Tower mine. And apparently the Zerglings are just hanging there and they don't want to mess with the Marines. Oh, an attempt there, but one of the Zerglings got pretty shot. So Xel'Naga control for now for SeleCT, while LiquidRet he's stabilizing his econ game there. I guess we're gonna have another small clash here, but like I was saying, Red just stabilizing his game. As you guys can see, he's been committing himself to plenty of drones and actually to try to saturate, or at least get as close as possible to saturation on his natural expo, and make sure he's going to have a proper economy. Also getting roaches out, but the metabolic boost is also getting produced, so I would say that the plan might be Roach and Zerglings early on the early stages of the game, maybe something else later on. Notice how Red is positioning this Overlord, might be useful later on as a sacrificial Overlord to fly above the base and take a look at what is he building, or even, I don't know, an Nidus Worm on the back of the base would be pretty awesome. I really like that kind of moves. SeleCT finally establishing his orbital command here. Doesn't have much going on, a mule and 2 SCVs, but soon enough he's going to be able to saturate this line, at least I think so. While Red apparently won't be stopping on 2 bases and already getting the rocks destroyed, so he can grab the 3rd one. So once again, macro power by Red. His line here is getting pretty decent. Let's take a look at the economy. Ret a little bit ahead, actually balanced, though the harvester count shows a bit of an advantage for Ret. Obviously the mules will help balancing that, and apparently Ret getting the baneling's nest and transitioning to the next layer of tech. Not sure if it will be upgrades or maybe some mutalisks to apply some harass on his opponent. Keep in mind that both players haven't been harassing very intensely each other and just allowing each other to establish their game. That might bring some risks, as you might imagine. Here on Select side, you went from the 2 racks into 2 factories, so or is he backing up with some Mackey's Bioball, which basically is non-existent. He has some Marines, but not that many for now. Might be backing it up, even trying some kind of Hellion harass. It's a good option for Terran players. There's already the first Hellion coming out. And incoming the Sacrificial Overlord, taking a look at everything there. I'm pretty sure that Ret spotted the factories. Let's take a look. Yes, he did. He knows what's going on. He knows that there's 2 factories down there. Already the armory coming up and also a 3rd factory. So plenty of mech playing coming on Select side. Static defenses just fine, 2 bunkers. Keep in mind that these expos are kinda complicated to defend. It's wide open on both sides, obviously. And Ret already getting his 3rd hatchery on the 3rd base, 2nd expo, and some banelings getting produced, prepared to explode on the faces of any marine that tried to attempt to come any close to his bases. So as you could see here, there's a transition from Select into some mech play. He is making a lot of Hellions, so some Hellion harass might be his idea soon enough. Maybe roasting some of those Zerglings or the drones on the mineral line. These Hellions are quite effective, especially with that upgrade that you guys can see. It's already being researched, the Infernal Pre-Igniter, the blue flame for the Hellions. With that, these 5 Hellions will be able to just roast a ton of Zerglings or drones. But apparently they're gonna flank on this area where Ret has been taking care of his creep. Look at him using the Overlords to poop creep here. Brilliant play. Also showing instantly in the front of those Hellions, and the Hellions didn't stand a chance. They couldn't even get close to the mineral lines, and apparently Select is just pulling back and is not going to attempt any kind of push. There were plenty of roaches, and Hellions take ages to get a roach down, so I guess that for now is completely failed. Also notice that both Zerglings and roaches already have their speed upgrade, so the roaches in this creep with the speed upgrade will be able to impose themselves onto that Hellion play. Apparently Ret is advancing now. Will he be picking up this rich mineral field or just trying to make sure he's gonna have some defenses? I think that's the case. He's just making sure that this ramp will have some kind of protection and probably making a little bit of patrolling. Plenty of map control for Ret as well, by the way. Keep in mind that Select doesn't even have the Zanaga tower close to him. Ret just picked it up. But meanwhile here on Select side, he's getting the command center for his 3rd base as well, trying to get some kind of a wall off and a way of actually his opponent not get a proper concave if he advances here with a big force. And let's take a look at the army count. 122, 113, fairly close. Ret is leading the way, but not by much. Let's take a look at the units. 3 siege tanks and the Hellion. So Select transition into some siege tanks to back up his marine force. He had the big bulk of marines. Yeah, there it is. And 22 marines, 3 siege tanks, 4 Hellions, while Ret is now getting his Spire producing some Mutalisks. So we're gonna have some Mutalisks backing up Ret's army soon enough. There's the Spire, and it's gonna be pretty good because Mutalisks usually are quite effective on this map, especially if your opponent can micro them properly, if the player can micro them properly and keep them harassing and poking on every side of your opponent's base. For now, Select preparing himself to land his command center on this rich mineral field. I think he's gonna his plan passes by using a planetary fortress on that location. You all know how hard it is to keep that place properly defended. Nice established missile turrets here by Select, a nice cover of his main base, so the north side will be hard to actually be accessed and invaded by those Mutalisks. Meanwhile, Mutalisks trying to fend off what's rest of those aliens, but the Thor army advancing into the Zanaga watchtower, and now the Mutalisks can't do anything about it. They need to pull back and make a bigger wing of Mutalisks Mutalisks or just retreat for now. Incoming Mutalisks, once again, they're just flying around. There's plenty of defenses, plenty of missile turrets, and the Thors backing up with those huge blasts that actually hit all of those Mutalisks while they stay close together. But apparently Ret might be preparing some kind of push, some kind of pressure. He's mustering up a small group here. It's going to be used to destroy the rocks. But I don't know, apparently he might be planning some kind of pressure here. Planetary Fortress is there already established. There's a load of defenses here. Plenty of units. Look at the amount. Let's take a look at the armies once again. Now Select still a bit behind, but he has enough forces close to that planetary fortress to just withstand any kind of early aggression of high pressure assault made by Ret, if he's just decided to go for that big roach army that he's been building up. As you guys know, those siege tanks, they're quite effective with those blasts if they have the siege tech, and they do. They throw huge blasts on the roach balls, and well, usually the result is not very good for the Zerg player. And also the banelings are quite fragile. They tend to die really fast to any kind of blast from those siege tanks. So apparently Select is going the right way. He has the proper counters to fend off this assault. Also the Thors are backing up his army, which is quite interesting. But apparently Ret is going to flank all the way on the right side, trying to pass on this corridor here and poke at the natural expo from Select. Select detecting him, obviously siege tanks backing up that small wall that was made by the supply depots, and now incoming all the roaches trying to shoot down as many siege tanks as possible. Destroyed all the siege tanks, but now the Marines are just grinding them down. Lots of roaches advancing, but had to pull back. Red didn't have enough there, and now a second push, this time on the rich mineral field. Notice how fast those banelings get destroyed. Oh, massive explosion on top of that planetary fortress, instantly destroyed. But the rest of the forces from Red didn't even came close to Select's forces, and I guess that Red just lost a lot of units there. Notice how Select is committing himself to a lot of upgrades, getting Steam Pack ready, which he still doesn't have, though he has plenty of Marines. Kind of an essential upgrade for Marines, I would say. It's very useful. And now making a big offense here on the rich mineral field for Red. I think it's gonna get destroyed. Red is just pulling back and not destroying it, while there's a second wave advancing here on this third base from Red, also trying to shoot down as many workers as possible. Meanwhile, there's an assault going on for Red on the natural expo from Select. You guys can follow it on the picture-in-picture screen, and now transferring to there. It's a big roach invasion, destroying as much as possible of the production facilities from Select, but now the bulk of Select's army is pulling back. Incoming steamed Marines, shooting down as many roaches as possible. The roaches trying to resist, also getting the carapace to make them even more resilient, but for now they're just getting blasted away by siege tanks, backed up by Thors and Marines. Couple of roaches running away into the main base of Select, maybe to take a peek at what's going on here. Not much going on. I mean, I think he pretty much saw all the buildings and production facilities already available, as you can see. And clash ensuing here on this rich mineral field that is once again being built by Select, but there's not enough roaches to withstand the big mech force assembled by Select, blasting away everything that moves. Select is just very sturdy on his unit composition. Once again, the armies continue fairly balanced, not exactly, but still fairly close. Now with Select leading the way for the first time. And let's see the unit composition. There's plenty of roaches and what else, banelings, but now apparently Red going for some yeah, there it is, some corruptors getting produced there. Is he going for some broodlords maybe? It's an option. There it is, the Greater Spire getting ready to go. So I think it's his option, and maybe getting some broodlords, because the corruptors at the moment don't have that much of an effect against this unit composition by Select. So I think it's just another step towards the unit that Red desires to counter this army. For now, roaches and banelings against this big mech force backed up by steamed Marines isn't actually working very well, as you guys noticed. He was able to at least apply a bit of pressure and destroy that rich mineral field by blasting and smashing a lot of banelings against it, but at what price? Because it doesn't have much of an army at the moment. First Broodlord coming out, so he's preparing his Broodlords to advance and apply a lot of pressure into his opponent. Meanwhile, 3 bases working just fine, and there's a stream of units advancing here. Lots of Zerglings. Let's see the income once again. Oh, Select just leading away by quite a lot. The worker, the harvester count is fairly similar, and he is obviously benefiting from the amount of minerals that he takes from that rich mineral field. Apparently, Red is going to advance. Incoming Broodlords. Oh, they're very unprotected. What's this? They're right on the front line and getting blasted away by a lot of Vikings. So, big counter here by Select. Now finally advancing with all of his roaches, banelings and zerglings. But there's so many siege tanks on the back that when finally the forces reached that big bulk of the forces from Select, that big bulk of marines, there was nothing left. No banelings to explode on their faces. And as you can see, that big wing of Broodlords, I think it was 5 of 6, got completely grinded down. So Red didn't have the proper positioning for them, or at least he wasn't protecting them properly, and they got lost so fast. Also, Select was on the ball, always with the proper counter. Vikings for the Broodlords also had all of that mech force to blast away roaches and those banelings, not allowing them to actually get any close to his bases or his forces. And well, the end result is Select taking this game and now leaving this best out of 5 at 2-1. So getting closer, finally fighting against Red and grabbing this game. So let's go for game 4. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. See you all later.